All right, guys, so now we're going to take a look at list groups. Now, list groups are basically like fancy unordered lists, and you can use these for like menus or just listing out content, things like that. Let me just, all right, so we're going to start here, which is start here, obviously. And for a simple list group, we just take the UL and add a class of list group. Now, if I save that, we're not going to see much difference. It's just gonna kind of take away the padding and stuff. And we need to actually add a class to each of the items called list group item. Okay, so I'll just copy this and paste that in for all of these and save. And there we go. So that's a list group, and you can see it's pretty nice looking. It has nice padding and borders and so on. Now, if we want to do this with links, we have a UL with A tags. And for the UL, just like above, we're going to say class equals list group. And I'm just going to add some margin classes to separate these. I'll say MB5, margin bottom 5. This has nothing to do with the list. I just want to simply push things underneath it down. So let's see, for each one of these, we just want to add list group item just like we did up here. So I'll just grab this. And on the A tag here, paste these in and save. And now we have our links. Now we can make these active both in the regular list group and the links. So we can do that by just adding the active class. You'll see now it has a blue background. Down here, let's go ahead and add active and save, and it does the same thing. All right, now we can also have contextual classes. So what we'll do here is add our list group. And then we want our list group item classes. And save. All right, so the first one here is just the regular one. Now let's say we want the primary. So we can say list dash group dash item dash and then the contextual color, which will be primary. So save, and notice that it gives you like this light blue color. So let's copy this and paste it in here, and then we'll change this one to secondary and save. So that gives it like a light gray background. Let's do success. So that'll do green. This one will be, let's say, info. And we'll do warning. Danger. This will be light, and then this will be dark. All right, so we'll save that, and now you can see all the different contextual classes. Now we also have something called a flush list group, which is if you want to have a list group without like the right and left borders and the border that goes all the way around with the rounded corners, you basically just want the borders underneath each item. So for that, we can go to this UL and let's add a class of list group, and also we want to add a class of list group flush, and I'm just going to add the margin bottom here. And then for each item here, we just want to add class list group item. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and paste that in and save. And then you can see that we don't have that border that goes around everything. So it's just another option. And you can add active classes here as well. So if we say active, okay, so it'll look like that. So badges are another thing that we can use with list items. So if we have, like, let's say maybe it's post categories, like a blog post categories thing, and you want to show how many posts are in each category, you could use a badge for that. So let's add a class of list group. And And for each one of these, we want the list group items. So I'll just go ahead and copy this. And then let's say we want to have a badge on my list item 2. So what we would do is go right here, and actually we want to add to this li class. Let's put the badge in first. So we're going to put a span, which is an inline element, and let's say we want the number 30 as our badge. So we would add a class here of badge, and then we can do a color, so we can say badge dash primary. And if we save that, you'll see now we have this badge. Now if we wanted to kind of align this over here, we could use Flexbox, which we're going to get into in the next section. But just to show you, we could go to its parent, which is the li, and we could say dflex, so make it Flexbox, and then we want to add justify dash content, and let's say dash between, and then let's do align items dash center and save, and that will align it to the right. And don't worry about, if you don't understand this stuff here, we're going to get into this in the next section, but that's how you can align it to the side here. All right, so that's a badge. Now breadcrumbs are nice for when you have, inner pages, if you want to show kind of a map of your links of your pages. And breadcrumbs are made of ordered lists, so OL tags. So we have this one here, has an li of home, and then this one has an li of home and users, but home is a link, so if you wanted to go back to home. And then here we have a name, so this would be like a profile of a user, and then we'd have a link to go back to the user's page and a link to go back to the home. And you can see that example here, but obviously this doesn't look good. So what we'll do to make this an actual breadcrumb is add a class of breadcrumb. And then for this li here, let's give it a class of breadcrumb dash item, and I'm going to make this active. Okay, and then for this OL, we're also going to do a class of breadcrumb. We're actually going to do this on both OLs. And we also want the breadcrumb item class on the li. Like that. And I'll just copy this. And we're going to put this on these as well. And I'm going to make this Brad active. So let's save. And now we have a couple different examples. Let's see what happened to this one. Oh, I got to put breadcrumb item here as well. And let's make this one active. Okay. And you'll see it actually adds the slash, and it looks nice. So you could navigate back. If you were on the profile page, you could navigate back to users. It's not actually going to go to users, but you could go back to home, and it looks nice. It has some padding, it has a background. So that's how you can create a breadcrumb in Bootstrap. All right, so that's going to be it for list groups, badges, and breadcrumbs. In the next video, we're going to take a look at forms.